everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. I'm the D-I-Z, Dizzle, and I'm here with the big Dutchy man.
Yo.
We are the Sexy Boys, and we are here with Money E himself, E Nasty, Erection. Eric, everybody. How you doing, Eric?
Pretty good.
We're here, and we're ready to talk some wrestling. And we got a Royal Rumble season, baby. Tomorrow is the Rumble. We're very excited. Go watch the breakdown if you haven't checked it. It's pretty much a Royal Rumble like prediction talk about show. We will give our official predictions at the start, even though we've given them multiple times, but we'll give for the whole every match and everything. We'll give our predictions at the beginning here. But yeah, we're in Royal Rumble season, and the Royal Rumble we are going to review is 1996. The whole pay-per-view. It's going to be a fun time. Go back in history to the new generation era to talk some Royal Rumble. In between, we're going to be doing a Wrestling Through the Years group, the thing that Doug's been doing with his Royal Rumble that he'll get into. People have been voting on it. It's been getting a lot of traction. And after we do our predictions, we'll get right into that, and then we'll review the Rumble.
Yeah. 2,000 votes, by the way, casted wow. Just today. From 10 o'clock this morning.
I remember when we couldn't get like 13.
Yeah. But
people are excited.
Thank you. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the group. If you're watching in the group right now,
thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. I know there's a lot of people that said they were going to join. Hopefully they'll be. I mean, I did say 6:30, and we're got it started a little bit early, so.
Well, we'll get some predictions in. We got 4 minutes till 6:30.
Yeah.
Started a little early here, but everybody can flood on in. And, feel free to comment, give your predictions, join us. And 96 is one I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah, that was an interesting Royal Rumble.
That was a fun watch.
It was a fun watch, and, you realize that, their talent roster wasn't necessarily the best.
No.
But it was definitely a fun watch.
I enjoyed it.
You had an old friend in the Rumble too, Mr. Barry Horowitz.
Friend of the show. And he got the promo treatment and everything, baby. Barry could have won this bitch. They were setting him over. Yeah. He was kind of fun.
Oh, this guy can win.
We should have got Barry on for this one. Because, I mean, Barry was kind of a big part of this thing. I mean, he didn't eliminate anybody. He didn't last long, but he
had Kurt Hennig dogging him the entire time.
Yeah.
But Vince kind of put him over.
Yeah, Vince did, but Hennig's line was like, as soon as he walks in the ring, when Hennig was like, imagine fucking Barry Horowitz versus the world champion at WrestleMania. Get the fuck out of here. Like Mr. Perfect just diminished it so bad to where it's like, this guy's not going to win. Like all the I was like, yeah, man. They were hyping him up, and then fucking Mr. Perfect just shits on him.
And he even got his own interview. 30 second segment or whatever.
The promo beforehand.
Yeah. He got to. Barry was a big deal. And he was a bit. Well, this was coming off the skip shit.
Yeah.
And so he was kind of hot. The character was hot, and he was. The crowd reaction was good too, but we'll get into all that later. We got current Royal Rumble to talk about. It's tomorrow. I think the men's match. We have all made our predictions. I'm going Drew. Who are you officially going, Eric?
Seth Rollins.
Doug.
All right.
Officially, not
officially. I still have the theory about Orton.
Well, if it's official, if you want to make it official, if that's what you officially think is going to happen.
All right, I officially think that Randy Orton is going to return, and they're going to give him somebody is tying Austin's record tomorrow. It's either going to be Cena or Orton. And I think the fact that Cena, who has said, I'm going to be around WWE straight this entire year, and then he goes and films a movie in Budapest. I think that kind of rubs people the wrong way when he gave them their word, hey, I'm going to be here, and you can't even fucking hype up the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, he's set up for 50-something dates, though?
I mean, yeah, but it's still you say you're going to put your movie commitments on hold, and you didn't.
Yeah, him and Logan. But Logan's like, I'm
Yeah, and then he tries to get a fight with Conor McGregor.
Yeah. I mean, and hopefully he is all in now. And they're setting him up in Gunther. I mean, I'd rather Gunther go in a different direction. But I think Logan and Penta would be an interesting one for WrestleMania.
Now, so I do think it's going to be Orton. I think Orton ties the record.
If he returns in the ladder match, ties the record for most Rumble wins?
Yeah. At 3.
I forgot he won that one year he challenged Bray.
Yeah.
If he returns in the ladder match and screws Cody over or something like that, who would your backup be?
Punk.
Like if he returns but is clearly not going to be in the Rumble, you go
Punk.
Punk? All right.
Yeah. Only because I don't see them. I mean, I know they were talking about Cena, but something tells me they're going to put Cena in a different direction.
Punk and Cody is insane, though. I think they'd probably do Punk and Gunther. But it doesn't make sense for him not to challenge for the WWE Championship at the main event of WrestleMania. And Cody, if he wins the Rumble, you kind of pigeonhole yourself into having to make that decision. And once you make that decision, you have turned Cody Rhodes heel. In my opinion, I don't know if that can be a split babyface versus babyface crowd. I think the fucking let's go Cody's will turn into fuck you Cody's by the end of the match.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
I know they have this whole transfer window.
If it's him and CM Punk, I think it's going to start out, CM Punk, let's go, Cody, CM Punk. And I think it's slowly going to turn into CM Punk, fuck you, Cody. I think it's going to turn.
I mean, it could.
Punk is that hot, and he's such a big superstar. It's the same risk you take with putting him against Cena, because a lot of people want to see Cena go 17. So putting Cody against a really good baby face like that is scary when you already got people that kind of want that heel turn and you're on the verge of the smart fans ready. I mean, you got the kids and you got the casual fans and shit, but the smart fans are ready.
Maybe that's why they make the change.
Him in the suits and shit, and they kind of want him to do it. So if you go Punk, I think you're turning Cody heel and it's inevitable. Why am I fucking up with that word?
And maybe that's why you
inevitable.
There you go.
Maybe that's why you make the change now and drop the title to Kevin Owens.
I don't hate it, and it's a nice swerve. And honestly, I think they might actually do it. But he has been a very good drawing champion. You don't end a reign like that. You know what I mean? He's been one of the more profitable champions in the history of the WWE, and what he's done and the amount of merch he's sold. That's the only thing about turning him heel and going against him. And now you're not selling the weight belts anymore signed, and you're not selling, and kids aren't buying the shit because he's being an asshole. You risk all that money by making this guy a bad guy. Because he fucking, and I know you think he already is, and we're not doing that.
Well,
again.
no. I wasn't going to interrupt for that. I had another point.
Okay. Go ahead.
The last time the WWE title changed hands at the Royal Rumble was back in 2017 when Cena won his 16th.
AJ.
So when he beat AJ.
Yeah.
It's been 8 years. They might think it's time for a switch.
It's just a major thing, because then the main event of the rest, that leaves it so much up in the air, the main event of WrestleMania. If you give Kevin Owens the title, especially with Roman in it, I'm surprised no one's picked Roman to win the Rumble. Roman has a great shot at winning the Rumble. And this thing is stacked to the gills.
Do they run it back with Cody and Roman again?
I mean, the trilogy is, especially, what if you turn Cody heel for that, and then you do the trilogy, the third one switched around. Oh, fuck, the third one switched around, and Cody's the heel, and Roman's the bait, because Roman's the Hulk Hogan right now, and not Hulk Hogan now, but Hulk Hogan back in the day.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple days ago, I posted. This is one of the things I posted in Wrestling Through the Years Facebook group. Join it if you're not already in. If you are in and you're watching this, subscribe, comment. And all that fun stuff. So I posted, I said, who do you think is going to win the Men's Royal Rumble?
Yes.
And your options were, and you got mad at me because I omitted one or two.
Yeah, you left out Penta, but you put in Solo Sikoa
Yeah.
and Jeff Hardy, and he doesn't even work there.
All right, so the options were Cena, Punk, Roman, McIntyre, Zayn, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, LA Knight, Damian Priest, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso, Jeff Hardy, and Braun Breaker. Your top 3 vote getters were John Cena at 435, 1,200 votes, by the way. John Cena at 435, CM Punk at 318, and Roman Reigns at 173.
That's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, Roman's third,
So,
but by a big margin. And
Yeah.
Drew's fourth.
yeah, Drew's fourth at 57.
Wow.
And then you have Seth, and then you have Orton at 55.
I'm telling you, dude, it's true.
So
He's winning the Rumble. I feel it.
your top 5 are Cena, Punk, Reigns, McIntyre, Orton.
It's a good
Wow,
list.
Rollins is not top 5.
No, he came in at 6, I think.
That
6 or
dude's-
7.
He's been losing a lot lately. You can only tell so. I mean, it'd be cool if he won, and I can see that. There's a world where Rollins wins the Rumble, but I want to see him go wild and give it to LA Knight or Damian Priest. Imagine that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like a mid-card, 2 mid-card, but over as fuck babyface.
Like when they gave it to Nakamura.
Yeah, but Nakamura was kind of the hottest thing going then, though. That's when they gave it to Nakamura and Asuka, and then fucking
Because they were afraid of what Philadelphia was going to do.
and then they killed both of their pushes at WrestleMania.
Yeah. The Asian power didn't go well.
Gunny!
It's good to see you, brother. We're doing Royal Rumble predictions. Who's gonna win it? I got Drew.
Hi, Johnny boy.
Eric's got Seth. I got Drew. Doug's got Randy Orton. Who do you got, Sean? But yeah, I mean, the Royal Rumble match is extremely exciting. Who's winning the women's one? I'm going Nia Jax.
I'm going to go Bianca.
Eric?
I'm going Bailey. Just because she's my girl.
So no one's picking Charlotte?
Hell no.
That was 806 people in the Wrestling Through the Years group because I put that poll up too.
Then I got
1,400 votes. 806. I got a cheap plug. 806 votes for Charlotte Flair. 120 for Bailey.
Has there been a back-to-back winner in the women's Rumble yet?
No.
Okay.
He's picking. Sean's picking Becky for the women's.
who you picking for the dude, Sean? Becky's not winning that Rumble. Well, maybe she did. I mean, she might come back and win that son of a bitch.
By the way, in the women's poll, Naomi super disrespected. She only got 9 votes.
Damn. I mean,
She's
she's
in
been
the tag
over.
team, so
Well, how many WWE title shots is she gonna fucking get? I keep seeing her lose. Punk's a good one. Those are both good choices.
Yeah.
Punk could very well win this thing. It just sets you up for heel Cody.
I
saying
can't wait for tomorrow night.
It's gonna be great.
By the way, for anybody watching this that also watches the cartoon show, there will be no When Tunes Combined tomorrow. I'm focused on the Rumble.
He's in Rumble mode, baby.
Yeah. And I'm in like 3 different Rumble pools.
There you go. 17 and 21.
Yeah.
I know that's what you need.
In the one, yeah. The other one I haven't gotten all my numbers. The other ones I haven't got my numbers yet.
There you go.
hey, I want to be in the Rumble pool.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like doing stuff with us, Eric.
I know.
Whenever I try to get him to do shit, he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, me too.
I know. But he's excited about this, so we got to be happy for
Okay.
I paid for these.
him. Well, we would have fucking do money too, but then you're like, oh, I want to make money. But with these guys, you're cheating on us. You're seeing other men.
My dad.
You're drafting wrestlers with other men.
Oh well.
Just saying.
Yeah.
No, but it's sick. I hope 17 or 21 hits.
Yeah.
I hope you win your pool.
Well, what's funny is that like I'm hoping that like because I haven't gotten the other because I'm in 3. Well, I'm in 2 men's ones, one women's one. In the one women's one, I bought 4 spots.
Okay.
And then there's another one that I don't know if I'm in the men's or the women's yet.
Yeah.
Because they
You
just
get to pick the number?
Huh?
You get to pick the number, or is it random?
No, it's a random draw.
Uh-huh.
So in the one that I'm in, I bought 2 spots, and 17 and 21. It's either got to be number 17 or number 21. And I'm hoping that in the other men's one that I'm in, I'm hoping I actually drew one of those numbers, so I get double it.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
What's the prize?
I don't know.
Oh,
World Championship. CM Punk.
Yeah. I don't know what the prize is. I just know that they're promoting it to be like something big.
All right, boys. Who's winning the ladder match?
KO.
Cody.
It's Cody. Cody retains. I don't think they do it yet.
Okay.
Nick Aldis might screw him. What?
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
Who's the
What do you think
other?
the match placement's going to be?
What's the other singles match?
No other singles match, but a 2 out of 3 fall for the tag titles.
Yeah, we got the Machine Guns on pay-per-view, baby. First time they made it out of SmackDown. I hope they get a pop, for God's sakes. These poor bastards.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
You can say whatever you want, brother. 100%.
You're in the chat. Do it.
We need to get them in the show. But yeah, I listen. I like the Machine Guns, and I hope they can make a splash at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Maybe they open up the card and they fucking, you burn the fucking roof off the place. Them and DIY are in a position to make a really good wrestling match and stand out at the Royal Rumble. And if they can open the show and come out with something really fucking good, that'll be good for both of those teams, because both those teams are struggling to get traction right now. In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, and
I like them both, but like, just as far as like, if you're going on reactions from the crowd to each segment, they're easily the lowest on SmackDown.
Yeah. And it's because they didn't get like a proper like package.
They didn't get the Penta treatment.
Yeah.
At all. They got fucking the Machine Guns.
Yeah. Like they just brought them on fucking TV and said, here's the Motor City Machine Guns. But yeah, no. I mean, I'll pick the Machine Guns just because I would like to see them win the belts back, because I think Johnny Gargano.
I like that, Sean.
Yeah. I think Johnny Gargano is just an ass.
I mean, I don't know if they stretch KO out till Mania, but I can see it.
Yeah.
I could also see it going the other way, where they do screw Cody. Cody gets screwed, and then Cody wins, and Kevin wins the title, and then Cody comes out at 30 and fucking wins. I can see that and win, and 3 in a row. That would be the tits for him. That's a run.
Yeah, that could be their answer to the Chiefs possibly winning 3-0.
That's what should have happened with Steve Austin in '99. That fucking Vince didn't get greedy.
Yeah.
Want to win the fucking Royal Rumble.
So.
Oh yeah, brother. All right, Doug, you want to do the Royal Rumble?
All right. So earlier today, I posted, and I had been planning on doing this for a couple of days. So I did some over-the-top rope battle royals the last couple of days. And then I'm like, all right, we're going to do kind of like a Royal Rumble style. Over 2,000 votes have been casted. Now, here's who entered and what number they were. Sami Zayn entered at 1, Harley Race at 2, Alberto Del Rio, former Rumble winner, at 3, X-Pac at 4, Rob Van Dam at 5, Triple H at 6, Jake Roberts at 7, Earthquake at 8, Ahmed Johnson, the favorite in everybody's hearts, at 9, Farouk at 10, Eddie Guerrero at 11, Drew McIntyre at 12, Roddy Piper at 13, Randy Orton at 14, Hillbilly Jim at 15, Yokozuna 16, Coco Beware 17, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase at 18, Bad Guy Riz Ramon at 19, Roman Reigns at 20, Shawn Michaels at 21, Rick Rude at 22, Ultimate Warrior 23, Owen Hart 24, Rick Steiner 25, Booker T 26, American Dream Dusty Rhodes 27, Nature Boy Flair at 28, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat 29, Kane is at 30.
That's a stacked Rumble.
Yeah.
That's like a Hall of Fame Rumble right there.
Yeah. So then
It is.
So got some former Rumble winners in here. There was more that I wanted to put in, but it's just like I had all these names in my head, but then I realized it's like, oh shit, I need 30.
And they all won votes to get there, right?
No, I did. Well, Steamboat and Kane did.
Okay.
Steamboat and Kane won the battle royal, or won the 2 battle royals that I put up.
Yeah.
Kane won the first one, so I put him in at 30.
Okay.
And Steamboat won the second one, so I put him in at 29. And then everybody else, I was kind of just like, who would all make sense?
Sweet.
And so here is the order of elimination. Alberto Del Rio went first. X-Pac went second.
Oh.
Ahmed Johnson went third. Sami Zayn got tossed out fourth. He lost to Hillbilly Jim by a vote. Because Hillbilly Jim had it.
Hillbilly eliminated him.
Yeah. Then Hillbilly went out. Then Coco Beware. Then the Ultimate Warrior. Then Earthquake at number 8. At number 9, getting eliminated, Handsome Harley Race. Then Yokozuna. Then Roman Reigns.
Damn. Roman didn't make it.
And then Farouk. Then $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Rick Steiner was the 14th man eliminated. Booker T, then right after. Then Drew McIntyre. Then Shawn Michaels. Then Triple H. Then Kane. Then Ric Flair. Owen Hart. Rob Van Dam. Bad Guy Riz Ramon. Jake the Snake Roberts. Ravishing Rick Rude was the 25th man eliminated. American Dream Dusty Rhodes was the 26th man eliminated.
Damn.
Eddie Guerrero was the 27th man eliminated, and these final 4 were like very close. The 28th man eliminated was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who had been leading all day.
Damn.
Up until 45 minutes ago when I counted the vote. He had been leading all freaking day. Roddy Piper then tossed out, and your winner, Randy Orton.
He got his third one. He did it. And he's going to do it again tomorrow.
The fact that
I like that list.
Thank you. It was fun to do. And thank you to all 2,000 2,000 voters.
Yes.
Or I don't even think it was 2,000 voters. I think a lot of people just voted like several times. But still, thank you to everybody that took a part in the 2,000 votes that were cast. I appreciate it. This was I thought this went very well. I know there's like some people that are just like, oh, well, why are these people in there? It's like, I just came up with names.
Yeah. And it's legendary. I mean, that was one of the best. If that actually happened as a Rumble, would be the best.
Yeah. I mean, and Randy Orton went in that. I mean, to me, that almost feels like an omen.
Yeah.
So Randy Orton wins it. Again, Ricky Steamboat was leading all day up until when I counted the votes.
Yeah.
Like when I saw,
and then the Dragon lost.
Yeah. Well, because Piper was kind of on his tail.
And Piper got him.
Yeah. And then Piper caught up to him. But then Randy Orton surpassed both of them. Because at first it was down to, because Dusty was up there too. Like Dusty was kind of up there too. But then Eddie Guerrero started creeping up.
Yes.
So you forget how popular some guys are sometimes.
Yeah. No, that was a lot of fun. We need to do something for WrestleMania too.
I can probably cook something up for that.
Now, Doug, was there supposed to be a fifth match on the Rumble card tomorrow? I swear I saw a 5th match, but now it's only 4.
I don't think so, because I think they were only going to do the two Rumble matches, and then the 2 title matches. I think that's why DIY versus the Machine Guns is 2 out of 3 falls.
Okay, I thought I saw another match there.
I mean,
That has the potential to steal the show. I'm excited for that match. It can either be boring or steal the show.
Well, either that should either open up the show or
The women's.
the women's rumble. Or here's what they can also do. The ladder match can open up the rumble. And then because that way whoever loses can jump the number whatever entrant and get into the rumble later.
Yeah. I don't know though. Especially since we're about to transition to Royal Rumble 96, this is a fun transition. I kind of like the idea of the title going on last. Because it makes it so much important. The World Heavyweight Champion, or the top to belt, whatever it is, the WWE title. I like the idea of that being the main event at the Royal Rumble. Like, even though the Royal Rumble's an attraction and it should go on last and it's a main event attraction, putting on a world title match, it's been done to varying degrees of success. This one was okay. I really liked the casket match. Even though it fucked Shawn Michaels' life up, his back up. But the casket match was a lot of fun. That's about it. No, didn't Mark Henry and Undertaker?
Mark Henry and Kurt Angle main evented the 06 Rumble. Remember, Rock and Punk did it in 2013.
That was good. Even though Punk got fucked, but that was good.
Yeah, because Punk won the match, and then Vince McMahon's just like, you cannot win the title. You cannot win this match.
Restart.
That's the year. That's not the year he left.
But let's get into 96, gentlemen, because this was a fun era to go back to. Because it's fun because we're touting, first of all, we're in Fresno, California at the Selland Arena, and for 9,600 in attendance. You've been warned is the tagline. You got fucking Diesel and fucking Shawn on the poster. There's a lot of storylines going into this, but I think it's funny that kind of not fast forwarding to the Rumble, but talking about a couple of the entrance of the Rumble. This is being touted as the new generation era, right? And this is kind of the end of that into Attitude. We're getting towards Attitude. You can even feel the Attitude on the show, but it's still the new generation era. They even have the tagline later. And it's like you're building this as the new generation, and we're not fucking with old people. And WCW, even with the billionaire Ted shit, it's like WCW has fucking all these old people. And it's like in the Royal Rumble, you have Jerry Lawler, Dory Funk Jr., Jake the Snake Roberts. You know what I mean? So some
Bob Backlund,
some old motherfuckers that are like, someone like Backlund's like 70, like he's like a couple of generations ago, and it's like, what are we doing here, guys? Stick to a fucking thing. But no, it was funny to me. But this era and this card especially has a couple of things on it, and it's not a bad pay-per-view card. This Royal Rumble 96 is actually kind of a hidden gem. It's not my favorite one. It's probably in the middle of all the Rumbles. But I thought it was actually a pretty fun watch.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. The free-for-all match or whatever.
Yeah.
Duke the Dumpster Droese, the resident garbage man, against Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He would go on to do a couple things.
Better known as Triple H.
Yes. And Duke wins by DQ. And this is for the entry 30 in the Royal Rumble. The loser would get number one.
Loser one, winner 30. And Helmsley won the match. But Gorilla Monsoon came out and said, no, you used a foreign object. So he reversed the decision.
Yeah.
Because this is when they were trying to get Gorilla Monsoon over as the president of the company.
Yeah. Well, that's when that stuff worked because the stuff they did with Vader was like the only good stuff they ever did with Vader. With him taking out Monsoon and shit. That angle actually worked.
Yeah, and that, by the way, that was the next night after this.
Yeah, this was not a great debut for Vader, in my opinion, but the next night was pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened. The dumpster Duke Droese is in the Royal Rumble at number 30. Triple H will be starting the match, and it's kind of funny because Triple H pretty much just gets a lot of screen time on this because he ends up going the longest in the match, and he ends up like having a really good performance, and like it almost helps him out more We don't see much. I mean, he comes in the Rumble, he gets eliminated pretty quick. The dumpster's not in it for that much. So, like,
No.
I mean, if anything, I mean, in kayfabe, it's like it's ass for Triple H. He's got to go the whole match. But as far as like actually being in front of an audience and getting yourself over as a star, Triple H got a lot of time to do it. Whereas Duke Droese was out there for a couple minutes.
Yeah, and I think this was like because I think Droese had been missing like most of '95.
Yeah,
and like I think he came back because there was a lot of guys, or there was a few guys that were like they had kind of come back. Like Tatanka had come back, and Droese had come back, and it's just like you could tell that these guys were kind of, even though they were making their returns, it was almost like they were headed towards the end of their run.
Yeah. They were definitely a lot of I would agree. There was a lot of old fella, but it was still cool to see in the Rumble. But we start off the actual pay-per-view with Ahmed Johnson and Jeff Jarrett, which is honestly not a terrible opener. But, I mean, it really felt like,
Jeff Jarrett carrying the match.
Yeah. Double J was trying his fucking best.
Yeah.
And also, this is like the Goonie Jeff Jarrett that I don't like. Like, I do not like the Double J fucking guy.
Ain't he great?
Not my. I'm a Last
Outlaw. Jeff Jarrett's the best.
That is the Last Outlaw. Or no, is that Last Outlaws is first gimmick, right?
Last Outlaw is the thing he's doing now.
Yeah. But wasn't he doing that before?
I don't think so.
Oh, he just started it for AEW?
Yeah.
All right, the Last
TNA Jeff Jarrett's the best.
TNA, that's the thing. A lot of people shit on his Reign of Terror. I love it. I have a thing for Reign of Terrors. I like Triple H's and I liked his. And a lot of people hate both. And I like both matches, all the matches both guys put on, besides the Scott Steiner shit with Triple H. But everything, and the Booker T match, but everything else, I like from both of them. And I thought
with this TNA deal. Sorry.
What?
Oh, I was gonna say. I hope with this TNA deal that they get their library.
Yeah,
it feels like that's what they're looking for.
It might be what they're looking for, but I think that would be the worst thing for TNA because I'm sure unless they get a really big cut. If they can get a lot of money out of it, then great. But I think TNA Plus is probably where most of their income is coming from. I mean, they're doing sellout and stuff. But, I mean, they still got the streaming service that you can pay for and get the library. But they put most of the pay-per-views are on YouTube now. So
yeah, pretty much. I mean, some people think that TNA is doing this partnership because they're getting ready to sell and WWE is going to buy them.
Haven't we heard that before?
Yeah, but it seems a little more likely now because Nick Khan has his finger on the pulse and knows that there is some talent in TNA that he can get his hands on.
Yeah, but once you take them, then they're gone. That's what you got to remember.
And there's a few WWE.
I think it's more of a. Would you like to be another NXT? Because they got some great minds like Tommy Dreamer and shit that Triple H would not mind honing talent for him and then sending them over. And then maybe they go to TNA first, then they go to NXT, or they differ from TNA and NXT, and that's how they get more experience. As they travel with fucking TNA more, but then they do some stuff with NXT, and then
I mean that could work
before they get called up to the main roster. Like I see it more TNA getting sucked in as another developmental, which it would not be terrible probably for TNA or WWE because that's probably TNA's best bet at a real good TV deal.
Right. What's funny is that like just watching Ahmed Johnson last night, you could tell why like the fans would vote him to be like the third guy eliminated in my
he ran out to the ring with chutzpah though, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But I mean he was never a great worker and he hurt people and he hurt himself and I mean that's kind of the cardinal sin in wrestling. Like, and I've never done it. Me and Doug don't take bumps. Eric ain't taking bumps, so we don't know. And we're fucking clumsy. We'd probably that's why we don't do it. But that is kind of a cardinal sin if you're in the business and you're like a worker like that, if you're hurting guys, you're not going to last very long. And
Nope.
Ahmed Johnson hurt guys. He didn't last very long. Mabel kind of got lucky because he was so big, so he was an attraction. But Ahmed Johnson fucking, he was hurting guys. And when you hurt guys, you don't last. And you're hurting yourself too. It's not that he was injuring other people; he was injuring himself as well. And at a certain point, you can't keep investing in that. As much as he had a look to him, if he could have got more honed into the ring, we could be talking about Ahmed Johnson to this day. There's an alternate reality where Ahmed Johnson's a big star.
Yeah. And by the way, when I put him in my Rumble here, I was screwing around because I was trying to find somebody because I was thinking it was either going to be him or Bad News Brown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I use Bad News for so much stuff. I haven't used Ahmed Johnson yet. Him or Del Rio are going to be the first one eliminated.
Yeah.
So it's just all right. So I went with that. Now, obviously, Ahmed was eliminated third.
Well, yeah, Alberto's got more bad will.
Yeah. And poor X-Pac. I actually thought he was going to last a while. I thought that he was going to go a little further.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of stuff in this Rumble that not in Rumble 96, but
we got fucking Sean, fucking Razor, Diesel, and then we'll build up Hunter, and we'll build up Kid. And then we got the Hearts. We got Brett. We got Owen. We got Davey. Pillman's with them at a certain point. And Jim Neidhart gets there. But, Jim Neidhart's, I don't think, has ever been a focus since the Golden Age. But, or the Golden Era. But you got, those are the two focuses. And then you got, your Ahmed Johnson, and you got Undertaker too, but you got Ahmed Johnson that you're trying to fucking build up for the future. I would say him, Mankind when he came in,
Goldust.
Austin was not thought of in that light yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
But
not yet.
They were clearly building to, it was I would say Mick, Goldust, and Ahmed, and they were trying to build on that. Mostly, but Ahmed was going to be the star, I would say, in the main events and shit. And then you had Shawn Michaels in the main event. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Diesel. That's your...
Eric Hart at his own show.
Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Yep.
But not this match, I would give a fucking 1.5 out of 5.
I'd say 1.3.
I give it a 1.
Undertaker's the man, Kenny. We know. Kenny's a fan.
Did you post this one?
No, because of the broad base.
But it was. I mean, sometimes Royal Rumbles just have bad openers.
Yeah. And sometimes there's filler matches that aren't that great on Royal Rumble cards.
Yeah.
And that happens. And this was one of them. Like we said, Jeff tried, but this isn't a Jeff Jarrett that I'm that much of a fan of anyway. And Ahmed just didn't really ever have it. So the card picks up from here on out, though. Because I would say, moving on, that everyone rated it, right? Moving on to the Smoking Guns versus the Body Donnas with Sonny, who obviously they were trying to showcase Sonny at the time. It's this is before Sable.
Yeah,
this is
they showed a lot of her.
Sonny was the diva, and she was the girl that they were really. They're we're getting attitude. We're gonna start showing hot girls. Here's our hot girl. Here's Sonny, and I thought the Body Donnas and the Smoking Guns put on a pretty damn good tag title match.
It was a really good match, even though early in the match, that's when Billy took the shot and it screwed up his neck.
Yeah.
Which you had to go back and rewind that a couple times because, when I pointed it out, you're when the hell did that happen?
Yeah, well, I didn't see. I mean, because I thought it was on Skip. I thought it was on Chris Candido, but it was Zip that fucking hit him.
Yeah, Zip just punched him in the back of the neck almost.
Yeah, and
solid match.
These are 4 guys that are extremely talented.
Yeah.
And some of the 4 really good foundation wrestlers, Billy Gunn is still wrestling to this day and has had an iconic run. And even though he's never really hit that main event scene, none of these guys really did. But Billy Gunn fucking it turned out to have a really great run. Chris Candido is one of the better wrestlers to like ever exist. Him in the ring was fucking amazing. Bart Gunn is like a story of like what could have been. There was so much there that they never got to explore. And Tom Pritchard's one of probably, I mean, the Heavenly Bodies were an amazing tag team, but Tom Pritchard on his own is probably, one of the better trainers in the history of wrestling.
Oh, 100%.
As far as getting people ring ready.
Yeah.
He's like one of the best to ever do it.
Well, and one of the things is because he was so, well, one, it also helped that he's Bruce's brother.
Yeah.
Well, in theory, it kind of helped. I think Tom sometimes figured it's like, it's a pain in the ass. But
Tom was the talented one.
Yeah.
Tom was the talented one, and Bruce was the creative one.
And so basically what happens is, and this kind of ties into, why Tatanka had to make a return. Tom was part of the Heavenly Bodies tag team.
Yeah.
Okay. Him and Jimmy Del Rey. Well, in October of 95, Jimmy Del Rey got in trouble.
Yeah.
Allegations that he actually did. But because Tatanka was standing next to him in the fucking room, Tatanka got in trouble for it too. Not going to go into too much detail to say that there was a young lady involved. I mean,
I got it.
Not like young, like there was a woman involved.
Detail, but let me give you the whole story.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying is that like there was a woman involved. Del Rey did something bad. Tatanka got in trouble for it too, because Tatanka was, like I said, in the room.
I hear you.
So they got rid of Del Rey, who then went on to become Jimmy Graffiti in WCW.
Big run. Oh
yeah. 2 matches on Nitro with Dean Malenko and 1 match on Nitro with Rey Mysterio, and a victory over Bobby Eaton on Worldwide. So they needed something for Tom to do because they didn't want to get rid of Tom. They liked Tom, even though he's guilty by association by being Bruce's brother. So Tom Pritchard and Chris Candido were friends.
Yeah.
Because they all worked Smoky Mountain together with Cornette. So it's like, okay, well, what if we do this? We're going to bleach blonde Tom's hair.
Yeah.
We're going to call him Zip. Because they were, the run with Louis Spicoli as Rad Radford was really running its course.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we're going to call these guys the Body Donnas. And it worked.
Yeah.
So, and the match was very good. Like I said, you couldn't even tell that Billy had a bad neck.
No, I thought both guys, or all the guys in the match really tried hard to put on a good one. And it was a hard-hitting tag match. I thought some of the shots Billy was throwing was like, you could tell he was pissed off about his neck because he was really slinging them. And Bart too. Had the Smoking Guns are an underrated tag team for how hard-hitting and badass they were. And for being able to pull that off in jeans and work boots. God bless them.
Yeah. I mean, they really lived the cowboy game, which, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know, because the storyline was, Smoking Guns, they were cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Both guys actually went to college on a rodeo scholarship.
Really?
Like, there was a thing.
Damn.
Billy had talked about it for years. He goes, I actually did go to college on a rodeo scholarship. Like, I was into rodeo. And they're like, we thought that was cave. He goes, no. He goes, that's how we ended up with the gimmick, is because I said, oh, yeah, I went to college on a rodeo scholarship. All right, pal, you're a smoking gun. And
just like Bob Holly. Oh, yeah, I like the race cars. Sparky plug.
Yeah. Like, so a lot of that had to do with real life situations.
Hobbies and what you've done in the past.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how the hell TL Hopper became a thing.
He's like, I love shit. Yeah, plumber.
I've clogged up many toilets in my day, Mr. McMahon. You're going to be a plumber, pal.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. But yeah, this tag match, I like the spot with Sonny, even though it led to, the bad neck with Billy, and that sucks. But the spot itself, setting it up and showing Billy's compassionate side.
That was a hard shot, though, too, that Billy took. Like, Tom Pritchard, like, fucking, I don't know why he would do, like, because all you got to do is just come out with the double axe handle. But it wasn't even really the double axe handle. He punched him in the back of the neck.
Yeah, he came down pretty hard. For one of the better workers, and it was weird to see, but it looked like a nice shot. It looked believable, probably because it was real.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a great match. I would give it a 3.8 out of 5.
I would say 3.9.
3.5.
You negative Nancy. All right, now Goldust, who's been trying to fuck Razor Ramon. And that's the gimmick.
Oh my God.
Goldust and Razor. Razor's the Intercontinental Champion. Goldust, has a tattoo on his tit with Razor in it, and
a heart.
And a heart. Razor's heart. And he has been trying to seduce. But the whole thing, and this is when Goldust was a nice, provocative character, and this is when he was in serious, like, oh, he could be a world champion. This is like when it wasn't played for laughs, and it was like, he is making this guy so uncomfortable. This man who oozes machismo and fucking, he's the coolest guy on earth. And then this guy's flirting with him, and it's making him all uncomfortable. And now he's not focusing on the gold. I think that's a pretty cool storyline.
Yeah.
And Goldust really made it work. It was all in. And I like how this is the debut of Marlena. And it kind of seemed like it's like, all right, now we're kind of showing what side of the fence Goldust is playing on here. But it also I like how they did the whole where he played on sexuality to like get himself like a benefit, and that can be done in a really tasteless way. And if Vince Russo was he writing at the time?
He was writing the magazine mostly. He
if Vince Russo wrote this, it would have gone so wrong. But the way they did it, and the way it was a very good, well-told story. And even at the end, and 1, 2, 3 kid fucking Razor, I like that Goldust won the title here. And I thought it kind of seemed like it's because Razor didn't want to lose clean to Goldust. But
from what I had heard, he didn't even want to do the match.
Yeah, I know he was really uncomfortable and didn't like it in real life. But I thought it made for a good story, too, because he didn't like it.
And Scott Hall leaves Razor leaves shortly after.
He left in April, or actually left in May.
Him and Nash.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like he didn't want to, he really didn't want to do the match, and he was actually supposed to be in the backlot brawl with Goldust that year.
Yeah.
But what happened was, one, they said, all right, well, we'll probably have Goldust go over. And two, he already started negotiating with WCW, so he miraculously failed a drug test.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, you're suspended for 6 weeks.
He's like, all right, I'm picking up some weed. I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny. I really I thought the match was fun, though. And even if he didn't want to be there, I thought he worked a pretty good match with him. And even though it didn't last long, I thought it was a fun match.
Well, yeah, what about 14 minutes?
Yeah, it was a good ending to it. I thought Goldust could have won a little more decisive, but it was still good. I thought it was a pretty good.
Well,
and it was showing that attitude. We were getting towards there, you could tell.
And it was also it was also building. It would build towards the match that Razor and the Kid would have at the Next in Your House.
Yeah.
The legendary Crybaby match.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Which we've reviewed on the show before.
Yes, we have. I give the match a 3.7.
I would go 3-4.
I'd say 3.8.
All right. Now we have the Royal Rumble. We start out with Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Henry Godwin at 2.
The continuation of the famous hog pen rivalry.
Yes. That was hard hitting. Then we have Bob Backlund come out. Jerry Lawler comes out at 4. He hides under the ring most of it. I'll just say the entrance, and then we'll talk about all the action. Bob Holly, Mabel, Jake Roberts, like I said, the new generation, Dory Funk Jr., Yokozuna, 1-2-3 Kid, Takayo Omari. That's what Vince kept saying. Omari, who from All Japan. They were developing a relationship with them at that point. Savio Vega, Vader, a debuting Vader. Doug Gilbert, which is another odd name, Eddie Gilbert's brother. A squat team number 1 and squat team number 2, the Samoan squat team.
Yeah, which, by the way, them and Doug Gilbert, I think, came from USWA.
Yes.
Because they had the partnership with them at the time, too, because Lawler had the ownership of USWA.
Well, and let's get into some of these guys. I mean, I could finish naming them. Owen Hart, Shawn Michaels at 18, who eventually wins the whole thing. Hakushi, Tatanka, Aldo Montoya, Diesel, Kama, the Ringmaster, Barry Horowitz, Fatu, which is Rikishi, right?
Yeah.
Isaac Yankem, DDS, Marty Jannetty, the British Bulldog, and as one, Duke the Dumpster Josie. This was a fun match, guys. And this was a Rumble that had a lot of odd shit in it. But let's even go up to starting with Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Henry Godwinn. This was a cool way to start it.
Yeah, because, again, they had a rivalry.
Yeah.
So it made the most sense.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
And just like with Henry Godwinn, like they didn't even acknowledge that Henry Godwinn got eliminated. Like when he got knocked out of the ring, he got knocked out by he got knocked out by Jake, I think.
Yeah.
But they
with the snake.
They never no, it was like later on, like Jake, I think, ducked because I wanted to see if I could see it. And Jake ducked and Henry just fell over the top rope.
Oh.
So I think they credit Jake with the elimination.
And I will say Jake was probably one of the most over guys in the match. He got big pops.
Yeah.
The crowd was fucking with Jake.
Well, because this was really his return. He didn't return on TV before. And they had other guys that like they were trying to get.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to get that 911 from ECW.
That would have been cool.
Pritchard or Bruce was trying to forge the relationship then. Trying to get them in. They were trying to get Warrior as early as the Rumble.
Yeah.
They had made a call in to Heyman to try to get Sabu. Rick Martel, who had been kind of on the Rolodex, he was a name that they were thinking. But they went with the guys that they went with.
Yeah, and I don't think that there were bad selections. I mean, some of them were odd. I mean, probably the oddest is Omari, from All Japan, because just I know they were trying to build up a relationship and everything, but we've never seen him on WWE television. It's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
and it's like some Japanese dude out of nowhere just comes out and Vince, Omari, and he doesn't even last long. He lasts like 2 minutes.
Like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
He was like the only Asian guy in the match.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to try to count Yoko.
No, I don't count Yoko.
Oh, yeah.
He's Samoan.
You know Hakushi, the guy that had Chinese or Japanese writing all over his body. You know that also. He's Asian too, right?
Oh, I missed that one.
Well, I mean, he was the only other one in the match, Doug. It was still a fair comment.
Yeah.
They like pooping on Eric, but still. It's
a fun pastime.
And Hakushi,
it wouldn't be a show about him poking on me.
Yeah, that's true. Hakushi is one of those that's like, he could have been such a star. Just watch it. He had such a cool look.
They should have never turned him babyface.
No. He was a badass heel that should have worked many matches with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and all the big names.
They turned him babyface so they could air vignettes with Barry Horowitz trying to turn him into an American.
Yeah. Terrible.
I swear. And Barry, we love you. Okay.
If we ever get him back on the show, we have to ask him about that.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he'll answer.
We got to get him back on for this.
Well, I mean, I do agree we have to get him back on, but this might be one of those things where it's just like no comment.
Yeah. that I want to talk about.
But yeah, like Omari was kind of weird. And like if you notice, back in those days, every time they had an Asian person on one of their broadcasts, they always had to come out to the old Orient Express music. Like, it's just like, could you not pick anything else for these guys?
Yeah, it's fucked up. It is fucked up.
Yeah.
But him and Doug Gilbert were the two that I was a little...
Sorry, guys. I was laughing too hard.
Doug Gilbert was another... Eddie Gilbert's brother. It makes sense, like the Bruce connection.
The Bruce connection, because Bruce, again, was...
Global.
Yeah.
He worked at Global with Eddie. We had the Global guys on.
Not even Global, all the way back to Mid-South.
Yeah, but still Global.
Yeah.
They worked together at Global, and that was more recent.
Yeah.
And so they had the relationship, and they brought in Doug Gilbert. And I want to know who thought Doug Gilbert might win. If Eddie fan was rooting for him, let me know.
By the way, Doug Gilbert was also the Dark Patriot in the GWF.
Oh, that's cool. He had no size to him, though. He did not have...
Well, that's why they had to put him in the getup in the GWF to make him look menacing.
Because he didn't have the look of his brother.
No.
Eddie Gilbert had like a look to him. Had a certain charm.
Yeah.
Eddie Gilbert was like a generational talent. And Doug Gilbert was a little like...
Yeah. But yeah, Bruce and Eddie went back like 10, went back to like 84, 85.
Okay.
So they had been longtime friends. So that's one of the reasons why I think they did that. And Kurt Hennig was also partners with Eddie Gilbert at one point. Bob Backlund also kind of took Eddie on as a protege at one point in an old, in Eddie's first WWF run that he had back in 83, 84. So, yeah, there's definitely like a lot of reasons for Doug to be in the Royal Rumble, even though like it didn't work.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
I'll tell you what had me interested though was like this whole Yokozuna Vader dynamic.
That was one of the best spots in the Rumble. Besides them and Mabel just walking around for half of it. And just kind of like, because there was some action, but I saw a lot of fucking, like Yoko literally, I forgot who he had, but he had some guy and he was like this on the rope.
It might have been Savio.
But, yeah,
Poor Savio got a lot of he took a lot of splashes by the big guys.
Yeah, but there was a lot of like half-ass, like, oh, I'm gonna get him. And they're just waiting for the next guy to come out. There wasn't the action in between the Rumble. This didn't have the best of that.
Yeah,
there was one Sean got in there, picked up, and he was doing shit with everybody. But like for a while, even when Shawn was in there, it was Vader just like standing around, looking around.
Well, Vader also had a bum shoulder.
I know, but it was kind of cool because he was like a bear in the woods or like an animal, like just scoping out his prey, standing there. But it did look a little lazy too, that he was just like standing there looking around, that he just walk up and be like, yeah. And then just start punching people.
Yeah. I mean, well, at the time, Vader's 450 pounds.
I know, but you're bringing him in and he's supposed to look like a monster.
Right.
Have him come in, eliminate 5 people off the fucking bat.
Right.
Get Doug Gilbert the fuck out of there.
Which he did. He fucking tossed him.
Yeah.
And then, but also...
And for Jake having such a moment and for having the fans behind him so much, that little half-ass from Vader and then Jake having to basically eliminate himself was so fucking silly. Like Vader should have picked them up for a gorilla press and fucking, not that I want Jake to go through that, but Jake had he fucking hit him with a little clothesline, like that, one of the weakest lariats I've ever seen, and then he just Jake just falls out of the ring. And he was the most, he got a standing ovation on his way out. The crowd was so into him.
Yeah.
So, you could have done that moment a bit better.
But what was also funny, Vader's 450, Yokozuna's 640.
Yeah. What's Mabel?
565. So you have 1,600 pounds in that fucking ring. Not to mention all the other 200-pound guys that were in there.
It's a lot of
beats. How did the ring hold up? It was like at least 3,000 Maybe
They would have fell through it. But Vader and Yoko attacking each other was cool. And they did it in like 3 different parts. And I liked it like when they did it and then fucking Shawn, even though there's no way Shawn Michaels.
How the hell can you lift 1,000 pounds over the top rope?
There was no way. They should have did a super kick or something. Because it was not believable. Shawn just like John Cena fucking. Like
that was awesome.
It was cool, but it was like not realistic whatsoever. There's no way Shawn Michaels could do that. No. But it was a sick moment for him in the Rumble. Because this Rumble did have some moments, and that was one of them. Because Rumbles are all about cool spots and cool moments.
Exactly.
And little stories and through lines throughout. Bless me.
Bless you.
But that's what the Royal Rumble's about. I liked Razor coming out and getting his comeback on the kid.
Yeah. Another moment that kind of had me, feeling nostalgic is when Jake comes out, puts the python in the ring.
Yeah.
And Lawler doesn't see it. And Lawler, by the way, has on snakeskin tights.
Yeah.
And he's choking Henry Godwin in the corner, and Jake just kind of just grabs him by the foot, pulls him in the middle of the ring, and Lawler's just going like this.
That was a moment.
And then he puts the snake on him, and then we don't see Lawler again for like another 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's when he crawls under the ring. But the snake in itself, that's what got the huge pop to begin with. Because when he comes out with that snake and just everybody gets out of the ring except Lawler, who doesn't know what's going on. Yeah. Everybody fucking, as soon as they look out, oh shit, and everybody bounces, and it's so funny. And then Lawler's like, ah! And such a good spot. Probably one of the best spots in the match.
I mean, and then there was also the spot, too, where Henry Godwin slapped Lawler.
Yeah.
Because they were going to slap him, but then he was able to grab the bucket, and then he slapped the King. I mean, there was, like, small moments like that. And then you had, like, the other guys coming in. I mean, there were some guys that had talent. They just were stuck in bad gimmicks.
And we do got to talk about the promos beforehand, too, because they were really good. And I'm glad they gave our boy Barry some airtime. But they fucking made him feel like a star, damn it. I thought he could have won this bitch. But I was rooting for him. But that dirty Shawn Michaels. But
was that the only Rumble he was in, Doug?
Yes.
He was so good, though. And he played his role, even though perfect shit on him. He played his fucking role. And I think he did what he had to do. The more memorable for not the best, this was not a good look for the Samoan squad team. They did not look menacing at all. They looked like 2 little peanuts. Just fucking.
Yep. Oh, by the way, Cornette tried to bring them back in '97 as the Headhunters. And they kept it like when they were doing like this attack on Owen and the Bulldog, and then they attacked the Headbangers kind of no-sold the splashes. So that's when Vince is just like, all right, these fuckers aren't going to work because if the Headbangers won't fucking sell for them, then we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they can't even beat the Headbangers up, they're out of here.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's pretty much how Vince felt.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, this wasn't a great look for them. And I mean, wasn't this their last thing? Or did they do more?
Their last thing was the thing where Cornette tried to bring him back.
No, but for this run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was not. It was stupid. They did the face paint didn't look cool. It just that was like there was a lot of fucking new generation ass in here that just didn't really work. There was some goods and there was some really good. I mean, you had fucking Owen Hart in this bitch. You had the Bulldog in this bitch. You had some really good.
You were telling me something earlier about Dory.
What was I telling you? Oh, that Dory. I heard through something to wrestle with their pod. And Bruce talking about it when they did this episode years ago. And they said that, basically it was said that Dory got put in there because, Bruce got to see his hero. He loves the Funks and he loves Dory. So getting to see Dory. I know there's been rumors that they were trying to get Terry, but I really think it was just like, let's get Dory out one more time.
Yeah.
And even though he did look like, I mean, he was super aged here, and this isn't the Dory. That is a
But
legend.
he was still training guys at the time. Like, he trained the Hardys, he trained Lita, he trained Mickey James.
Yeah, and he's still the fucking man. He just had the look of an old. It was like when they did that Vern Gagne versus Nick Bockwinkel, man. Or was it Nick Bockwinkel and Dory Funk? Wasn't it?
At that Slamboree, right?
Yeah. It was like, we're a little old now, guys. But it's like, but Dory, if you go back and watch Dory at his best, one of the best wrestlers ever. Dory's the fucking man, almost better than Terry Funk.
Can I throw a name out that I have a feeling might do a little cameo in the Royal Rumble match tomorrow?
Who?
And this is like, it's kind of out there, but he was at Saturday night's main event back in December. And he hasn't hit his 70s yet, so it's possible. Coco.
I don't think he'll wrestle. I mean, that'd be funny.
I mean, it'd be funny if he came out with a bird and did a thing and then gets tossed out right away.
Yeah. It would be sick, but I don't know.
I mean, I think a lot of those guys were invited to go.
Well, I'd love to see him in the audience, but
Yeah. I mean, Scott Steiner's telling everybody he's going to be in it.
that would be awesome. That even adds even more to a stack
Then,
rumble.
then Brian Baker needs to be in it.
Braun and Scott come out together.
Like, what if all three Steiners end up in the Rumble?
That would
You
be
get a
so
face to
fucking
face
cool.
to face.
Like, if you have Braun, Rick, and Scott in there. Now, again, Scott might just be fucking around. Like, he teased the fact that he could possibly be.
Yeah, and he's not like he's happy that Braun Breaker's happy, but Scott Steiner's one of those guys that never liked WWE. And it's never like I've heard him even say both times I was there is both times I wanted to quit the business. Like he was not a fan of WWE.
Yeah, but now he's like, because he's on good terms with them now.
Yeah, and he's happy for Braun and everything.
And his son is going to be, they're recruiting his son.
Yeah.
So, like, it's one of those to where, like, all right, I'm sure if they asked him and said, hey, Scott, do you want to be a part of this? He'll do it. I mean, Rick, it might take a little more convincing.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, then Brian eliminates both of them.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be something. Or Sheamus or they continue the thing with Sheamus and Sheamus bro kicks one of them and then Braun just goes absolutely ape shit.
That would be cool. Kama, this is Kama's last shot, isn't it? As Kama before they bring him back.
I am pretty sure he was done after this. Yeah. I mean, I know Mabel was done.
And it's funny that MMA gimmicks and because UFC was like starting to get hot around this time. And this is when mixed martial arts was really becoming a thing. And there's been so many wrestling gimmicks and like people that have tried to incorporate in their shit. And it's always only worked to varying degrees of success. And to me, it only really worked when the legit guy like Shamrock did it. But even like other legit guys like Daniel Puder couldn't do it. Or Matt Riddle, like he was kind of something in his own, different entirely. But like Mark Marrow is the boxing thing that didn't really work. Sonya Deville kind of tried it, but then Ronda Rousey came in. So it was like, how are we gonna do a fake one when we got a real one? And then you got this. I think the way they packaged Taz was probably one of the best attempts at it. The way because Paul kind of with the suplexes and everything, he was supposed to do that, and I think he really worked. But then the Kama, and even though Kama was a big tough motherfucker, and I love Charles Wright, but it didn't really work. His success would come later. But he was an interesting addition at 24, the ringmaster. Steve Austin before getting hot and before being the Steve Austin that we know to this day. That was interesting to see because I was like, oh, yeah, we're at 96. Like next year, he wins it. That's what's crazy.
Next 2 years.
Yeah, the next 2 years he wins the Rumble, and it's crazy to think that we're still pretty far away from that. Like we still don't even get the Bret Hart match. That's later on. Like we don't get iconic Stone Cold. And when you think about Jake means so much because having Jake, it's great that Jake's back, and this isn't Jake's biggest run of his career at all. But the fact that he was a big deal in this Rumble, and also he helped make Steve Austin that night. King of the Ring, because he was doing the Bible thumping gimmick. He was doing the proud Christian. And fucking, you got your John 3:16. Austin 3:16 said, I just whoop your ass. And we're off to the races. So like Jake ends up meaning a lot in this whole deal in hindsight. But yeah, Austin's the ringmaster here. And then seeing him and Savio Vega, and it's like, oh yeah, they worked WrestleMania that year. And fucking, and he was not over. He was not connecting yet, but they had him with kind of a shitty gimmick. But when he becomes Stone Cold, he just fucking, that is what brings, that's what makes us compete with WCW eventually.
Yeah.
Is Steve Austin. And it's crazy to see that we're still kind of a little way a ways from that here. But
it's crazy how 1 year changes a character.
I know you've had bad things to say about this guy in the past, not Steve Austin, but this guy I'm about to bring up, and not in WCW, but in WWF, I think this is probably the coolest Diesel ever looked.
Oh yeah.
I thought this is like the most over. It's crazy to think that he's leaving with Scott, because Razor, I can see it. Like he's in the first, like he's not in a stellar card placement. He's he's fighting for the IC title. He's not really presented in the in the Royal Rumble as a guy that could win the world title. Like I could see that he was kind of getting, but Diesel was still like coming off that world title reign and like kind of a big fucking deal.
This is the Diesel I like.
Yeah, and in this match, and even just like later on flipping off Taker and like little shit like that. Like I thought, awesome. and his stuff with Taker in this match, and Taker coming out and them throwing the fists a little bit, and fucking, and that sets up Diesel to fuck Taker on later. But and that sets up that WrestleMania match, which is cool. But I thought Diesel and Shawn's chemistry and dichotomy in this match was extremely interesting, and
they're best friends.
And the ending is badass to where it's like, is he going to hit him? Because we have that match coming up at In Your House, and they, did the world title match at WrestleMania the year before. But it's like, is he going to hit him, or are they going to fucking? Yeah. And then they do the dude with attitude thing.
They have a lot of history there. And they did this.
Yeah, and you got Shawn doing the thing where he showed the one side of the audience a little bit of tush.
Not a little bit, by the way, not a little bit. That dude, I know we're not at the Attitude Era yet, but half of the crowd saw Shawn Michaels' whole ass, if not his asshole, because all cheeks were out. You almost saw a pube in the front. I think I saw a straight pube. So
that wouldn't work in 2025.
No, and there was little girls and shit in the eye, and all the girls love Shawn, and I get it, but it's like dudes are there. It's like I gotta watch this guy's ass. Like I'm glad he won, but what the fuck? And he's just like, and it's like, what the hell's going on here?
And Perfect is about ready to throw up in his mouth.
I don't blame him. I was too. But I think the spot with him and Diesel at the end, even though 95 is a better Rumble and a better win for him.
Yeah.
I think that this solidified him, and the back-to-back was pretty cool. And it kind of puts him in that elite, like him, Cody, and Austin is a cool list for that. Yeah. For the back-to-backers. So I think, and I thought it was.
Don't forget Hogan.
Hogan too, but and I thought it was a pretty good match. it was a pretty good match. There was only a few believable guys, but there was enough guys. Vader could have won it. Diesel could have won it. British Bulldog or Owen could have won it. There's a few.
I put Yoko on the list too.
I'm surprised Owen didn't last long.
Yeah, but he
should have been in the final three.
I agree.
In my opinion.
I agree. I like the final four of what was it? It was Diesel, Bulldog, Shawn, and who?
Kama.
Oh, and Kama. And this is his last thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a pretty good match and a cool ending. Besides, him stripping.
I give the Rumble match a 3.5.
I give it a 4.
I give it a 4.3.
It's not my favorite. Like I said, it'd probably go mid tier within all my favorite Rumbles. But it is a pretty good, decent Rumble match. I just didn't feel like it had that. It didn't feel grand and spectacular like it feels now. Yeah.
It's in my top 15, but not my top 10. If we ever do a top 10, just Rumble matches itself. Just
wait till the end of the episode. But I I think it was a good serviceable match. It didn't feel like the spectacle that it is now, though. It didn't like you did the promos beforehand, but it didn't feel like a big grand entrance. It felt like just another match at first. It slowly built up to having magic in it, but
I didn't even know what number they were at because they never showed the number.
Yeah,
they didn't back in those days.
Yeah, but I still thought it was a good match. And Hunter Hearst Helmsley looked pretty good. You could tell they were gearing him up for if the curtain call didn't happen. You could tell they were getting ready for him to win the King of the Ring.
Oh yeah.
All right, main event time. Bret Hart, and this is like we said, one of those pay-per-views where the Rumble is not on last. We have The Undertaker versus Bret Hart for the WWF Championship. Bret Hart's the champion. Undertaker has, oh yes, Paul Bear with him. And like I said, Diesel comes out. Undertaker has Bret Hart beat. Diesel rips out the referee out of the fucking ring, and then he gets DQ'd. Bret Hart loses the match, but he keeps the championship, and Nash fucks the dead man.
And it was funny.
And gives him the bird. Not the bird. I mean, gives him the middle finger. Sorry.
That was cool. That was like a little attitude thing too, to where like Nash, and that's what I said. Like Nash was kind of an in-betweener on this show. Like you didn't know if he was a straight baby face or a heel, but he just came across as fucking cool.
Yeah.
He just seemed like the man on this show. Like even the promo to everything. Every time you saw him, and he had like 4 or 5 different appearances on this show, and he looked cool as fuck in every one.
Yep.
He was like one that's like, how are you going to let this guy go? Because this guy's like one of the best things on here.
I think like with this match, and like Diesel really was the star of the match, or like he really had a key role in this.
Yeah,
like because when Undertaker hit the tombstone, but then you start to see people stand up, and it's just like, all right, something's getting ready to happen.
Yeah, 100%. It was, as far as the match, it was a nice, slow, methodical Bret Hart match that got better over time.
Yeah.
It was a 28-minute match that like kept, and even though the finish is kind of like debated because it's, no one likes a fuck finish. But I thought as far as building up to that WrestleMania match and a good, still a climactic feeling ending, I think it did its job. I think it was still worthy of closing. But it is weird to close with the title match just to do a DQ finish.
Yeah.
Just for that, I'll give it a 4.
I give it a 4-1.
I'd actually only give this a 3-6.
Okay.
Because I did think it was a good match, but I think Bret and Taker have had better.
Yeah. This wasn't their best match.
Yeah.
And separately and together. So this whole pay-per-view, I'd say underrated, but not amazing. You can tell that we're just getting to being good. We're getting to 97 and 98 where we're starting to hit our peak. We're not quite there yet, and you can tell with the product. There was some good. I liked the tag match. The Gold Nest match was okay. The Rumble was a good match, and the main event was all right. But I'd only give this pay-per-view about probably a 6-9. Just because they can't all be 8s. And this one I didn't enjoy as much as I liked it, but as far as like really coming blown away, I really wasn't.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I had to rewatch it because I fell asleep. But I still give it a 7.
So for me, this is one of those to where it's just like the WCW was really putting on like really good pay-per-views.
Yeah.
WWF was trying, like the tag match was really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Intercontinental match I actually did enjoy. The WWF title match was okay. The Rumble match was decent because it had a couple of good spots.
Yep.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6-8.
So 8, 6, 9, 7.
Yeah.
So there we go. And I'm with you. And how are you going to have the audacity to do the Billionaire Ted skits and to say that WWF is the place with the high-flying action and the fast-paced matches when you turn the channel and you have Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, all the best high flyers ever, and the luchadors and the cruiserweight. Like, how can you even say that? Like,
Exactly.
it's like you're so off the mark on what you need to be right now. But good show. Do you guys want to know what we'll do next week?
Yeah.
To stay in Royal Rumble mode, even though it's over after tomorrow. Next week, we are going to be doing our Royal Rumble rankings. We will bring up every Royal Rumble throughout history, and we are going to rank them and come up with a list, and we're all going to try to agree on the same list, so it's going to be fun.
And Clint's going to be back next week, so I don't see any of us really agreeing.
Yeah. So we're going to
I don't even see now. Are we doing just the Royal Rumble matches or the pay-per-views as a whole?
just the matches.
All right.
The
So
Royal Rumble match rankings.
all right. So we got to get that idiot to watch every single Rumble match.
Yes. So we will be doing that, and join us for that next week. Join us for the breakdown. We'll probably be going live after the Royal Rumble tomorrow, and we'll see everybody next time.
All right. This was fun. And again, no cartoon show tomorrow, but we'll be back next week. But all right, cool.
Have a good one, guys.
Later,
boys. Love you.
Love you.
Love you too, babe.